Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a video that went viral about 2 months ago, as far as I recall, towards the end of September-ish. That video reappeared on my timeline this morning, so I was like, you know what, let me look into this because this looks infuriating, and how else will I really start my morning if it's not by getting into a seething rage at the state of vaguely gesturing to the universe. This is the video in question.
Kid. Good that you say that.
Sprite's good, especially the golf Sprite.
Oh, you know what, I lied to you. Did you ever see that Sprite challenge? They drink a bottle of Sprite transfer.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, she's in bed now. She's already asleep.
Well, it still happened though, right?
Yeah. I just the whole point. I just wanted you guys to come over and talk to her. I mean, I just want her to realize what this was. I mean, in reality, there's not much you guys probably can do about it, is there?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can?
Mm-hmm.
She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
It doesn't matter. She's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
Is she
internet.
taking pictures now?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Are you serious? Have a nice evening.
Now I want to preface this with my stance about the police because I know there is a very big divide, even amongst people I know, between people who really trust the police and believe in the police, and most of the time these are people who actually know officers and therefore have like a specific person they trust, and there are people who don't trust the police at all. I would say I have a very middle ground position with that. Much like with any other job, I'm not just gonna trust you because you're a fireman. I'm not gonna just trust you because you're a cop, and that goes for any career you have. Don't hate the police. Don't blindly trust them either. Don't blindly trust anyone. Seeing shit like this makes me irate for multiple reasons. I think the most obvious one is, are we really? Are we really going to say that you can charge an 11-year-old for sending explicit pictures to an adult who manipulated her into sending those types of pictures? Are we really going to say the burden of responsibility here is on an 11-year-old who likely has no real grasp of the implications of what they're doing, the consequences of what they're doing, and what really the significance of what they're doing is? I'm gonna read an article that's gonna give a little bit more context. As far as I've seen, and I could be wrong, let me know if I am in the comments and I'll pin whatever other sources you guys might have found. Based on what I found about this, there aren't many articles and they're all from back in September. So I don't know if there are any updates, and it wouldn't surprise me if the police department stayed quiet because this makes you look really fucking bad. Whoever the police officer was telling a parent, hey, your kid might be or have been in danger because they took fucking 6 hours to show up, which is like, why even bother at this point if you're just gonna try and blame the kid? But anyway, to find a parent who is obviously in a state of alarm, it seems dumb to me, even not just in PR purposes, but in like stress management. It's like when you see someone in a state of alarm, someone who's angry, someone who's desperate, the best thing to do typically is not to make these kind of sweeping statements without even collecting much information from what we gather. Like, you took 6 hours to get there, you didn't really ask much at all, and you're just gonna be like, ah yeah, we could charge her for child porn, not the person requesting it and manipulating her into doing that. Really? Anyway, let's look at the article. Police investigate viral video of officer saying 11-year-old could be charged for sending images to predator. Columbus police said Monday that the city has opened an inquiry into this incident. Columbus police say they're investigating a report that a father was told by officers that his 11-year-old daughter could face charges after he called to report that she'd been the victim of an online predator. A video posted on social media shows the unidentified man talking to officers who came to his door in answer to his complaint of a man having manipulated his daughter into sending images. The man says he wanted to talk to her to get her to realize what this was, then suggests reality is there isn't much he can do. One officer is heard in the video saying his daughter could probably get charged with child porn if she produced the images. Told the girl is only 11, the officer replies, doesn't matter, she's still making porn. After the man says she's being manipulated by an adult on the internet, the same officer asks whether the girl is taking pictures, and the man then breaks off the conversation and the officers depart according to the video. It's unclear when the interaction took place, but the social media poster said the police response occurred 6 hours after the man's call to police. Columbus police said Monday that the city's Department of the Inspector General, which investigates complaints of misconduct and/or excessive use of force by sworn personnel, has opened an inquiry into this incident. The department said that it's investigating the video posted on social media involving 2 officers responding to a call for service. Police said they regard all sexual misconduct allegations with the utmost seriousness, and incidents involving minors are handled with the highest degree of concern. Detectives with the sexual assault were immediately notified and have since initiated an investigation. I sincerely hope they've started an investigation, obviously into the case at hand with this young 11-year-old, but also these people, these cops, and I don't say this lightly, should lose their jobs immediately and have no possibility to work in law enforcement. This type of shitty behavior, I don't think is something you repair, and I know that that might sound extreme, and I'm sure that maybe some people might view that as toxic. I do think there are problems you can't fix. I'm not saying these people are pedophiles, but it's like with pedophiles, I don't think you can fix that. I think you can control it by putting them in jail, but that's not a problem that goes away. And the same way here, I don't think it goes away that if you see a child victim and your initial impulse is to immediately be like, ah yes, she is clearly a porn producer, I don't think there's any helping you. Like, I don't think there's a way to fix you once you think that type of way. And again, that might sound dramatic, but it's like, this is not the job for you. Because if you are immediately resorting to blaming an 11-year-old victim, I have to also wonder, and sure, this might be a slippery slope, but I have to wonder if someone were sexually assaulted, if a woman were sexually assaulted, would I trust to call you? No, because probably you'd come up with some other reason why it was her fault. If you're blaming an 11-year-old, I really don't know who you're not going to blame that's just convenient. So I don't know about that, but I think the saddest thing about all of this is that the father called the cops so they could talk to his daughter and explain things to her in a way where she understands it coming from a position of authority, right? It's probably going to hit a kid a little bit harder if it's the cops being like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, as opposed to being scolded by your parents, which I actually think is a pretty good idea, to have someone, an informed authority, come inform your kid, so long as it's not like abrasively done. So the fact that not only did they take super long to show up on something that could have turned into like a dangerous situation if the predator lives in the area, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. But anyway, but aside from that, the dad was obviously also calling for their assistance beyond just letting them know what happened, but to have a conversation with the daughter, and they're like, no, she's producing child. This is honestly why I think twice. The few times I've ever had to call the police, I've thought twice about it. Not because they particularly scare me, because I don't think I'm the demographic that the cops usually go after. I think at the end of the day, what really is the issue here is that with videos like this circulating, I think we can all agree that a lot of people don't particularly trust the police. So when you see videos like this, I think it increases the distrust for the police and the system, which in turn causes more mayhem, because there may be plenty of times where it's actually justified to call the police, and you won't because you see shit like this. Like, if I were to live in the same area as this man, and I thought that there was a probability that I would encounter these police officers with whatever issue I'm calling the police for, I would think twice and be like, if it's them, do I really want to put myself through dealing with cops that not only aren't helping or doing their jobs, but that are going to blame me for something that happened to me? Would I want to do that? No, that could easily escalate because sometimes you do have to call the police no matter what. But if you don't trust them at that point, it's a lose-lose almost because you're like, yeah, this predator might be coming to get my kid, but at the same time, the police is going to blame my kid. So which one of these is more dangerous at this point? I don't know. I find it deeply demoralizing, and I really do think that the police isn't helping themselves in terms of how they portray themselves. And it's just kind of crazy to me also that I don't know if they knew that they were being filmed. Cops should be decent people to begin with, but it's also just like we return to the same issue every time. Just from the PR perspective, you know the general public does not like the police right now. You know a lot of the general public does not trust the police, so you should be on your best behavior and should assume you're always being filmed and act accordingly. Like, you should be doing your job even if you're not filmed. But if we're at the worst case scenario here where you'll only do your job if you're scared of losing it or you're scared of getting filmed and getting shit talked on social media, then I guess assume you're being filmed so you do the damn thing. Because as far as I recall, part of your job is protecting the vulnerable like children. Where is that here? I genuinely hope neither of these two officers are parents because that would scare the living shit out of me. Like, imagine as a parent being like, oh, you're 11 and you sent explicit pictures to an adult who manipulated you. Oh, you're going to prison. Like, anyway, I think it's pretty obvious that I slept badly and am in a bitchy mood, but seeing shit like this where children are just openly blamed for things like this is so dystopian and terrifying, and I'm just gonna leave that there. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.